Imagine a time when the world was nothing but darkness after sunset. No lights, no warmth, only the haunting sounds of wild animals in the night. Humanity was fragile, scattered, and vulnerable. Every roar in the distance was a reminder that humans were not the kings of this world, they were prey. But then, one spark changed everything. That moment when a flicker of fire lit up the darkness, humanity's destiny shifted forever. Fire was not just a discovery, it was the beginning of civilization itself. The story of fire is the story of survival. Before fire, our ancestors lived in fear. They had no defense against the cold, no shield against predators, and no way to cook food that made it safer to eat. Their lives were short, brutal, and uncertain. But with fire, humans were given a weapon so powerful that it separated them from every other creature on Earth. That glow of light in the night was more than just warmth, it was hope. The earliest humans probably discovered fire by accident. Maybe it was lightning striking a tree, setting the forest ablaze. Or perhaps a volcanic eruption spilled flames onto the land. At first, humans must have been terrified. Flames consumed everything, smoke choked the air, and animals fled in chaos. But slowly, curiosity replaced fear. They saw that fire could drive away beasts, that the warmth gave comfort, and that food roasted in the flames tasted different, better, softer, safer. That curiosity was the spark of human intelligence. Think about it, before fire, nights were endless. Our ancestors huddled together, shivering in the dark, praying that predators wouldn't find them. But with fire, the night became a little less frightening. Around the flames, families gathered. The circle of light became a circle of safety. Fire transformed the wild night into a home. It was the first technology, the first tool that did not come from stone or bone, but from nature itself, tamed by human hands. Cooking was perhaps the greatest gift of fire. Raw food was tough to chew, hard to digest, and often dangerous. But cooked food unlocked energy. It softened meat, made roots edible, and released nutrients that the body couldn't otherwise absorb. Scientists believe this single change allowed human brains to grow larger. With more energy from food, our ancestors had the fuel to think, to imagine, and to evolve. In many ways, the discovery of fire was the discovery of our minds. But fire was not just about survival, it was about connection. Imagine the first storytellers, sitting around the flames, shadows dancing on the cave walls as they spoke of hunts, of spirits, of dreams. Fire gave humans a gathering place. It was where knowledge was shared, traditions were born, and culture began. Without fire, there would be no storytelling, no rituals, no sense of community. It was the first stage upon which humanity performed the drama of life. Of course, fire was not always a friend. It was dangerous, unpredictable, and deadly. A spark in the wrong place could burn entire forests. A careless mistake could turn safety into disaster. Early humans had to learn respect for fire. They carried embers from one camp to another, guarding them carefully. To lose fire was to lose protection. Fire was both a gift and a burden, a tool and a test. As humans learned to control fire, the world opened before them. They could move into colder regions, survive harsh winters, and expand across continents. The flames gave them courage to step into lands once thought impossible to inhabit. The discovery of fire wasn't just about warmth, it was about freedom. Fire became the key to exploration. Now, pause for a moment and think, what if humans had never discovered fire? Imagine a world without cooked food, without warmth in the cold, without the light that guides us through the darkness. Would we even be here today? Would humanity have survived predators, famine, and freezing nights? Fire was not just a discovery, it was destiny. The discovery of fire set into motion a chain of events that would lead to everything we know today: villages, cities, technology, and even space exploration. Every invention we celebrate today is, in some way, a child of that first spark. Without fire, there would be no metallurgy, no engines, no electricity. The modern world is simply an echo of that ancient flame. But beyond all of this, fire changed the human spirit. Around the flames, people began to dream. They stared into the glowing embers and imagined gods, spirits, and mysteries. Fire inspired awe. It was alive, yet untouchable. It could nurture, but it could also destroy. In many cultures, fire became sacred, a symbol of life, power, and divine presence. From the very beginning, fire shaped not only our bodies but our beliefs. Ancient myths spoke of fire as a gift from the gods. The Greeks told of Prometheus, who stole fire from heaven to give it to mankind. In Hindu tradition, Agni, the god of fire, was the messenger between humans and the divine. Fire was not just physical, it was spiritual. It connected earth to heaven. And yet, fire was also deeply human. It was the first tool that humans didn't just find, but mastered. It gave them a sense of control over nature. It was proof that they were no longer helpless creatures at the mercy of the wild. Fire was the first step toward domination of the environment. It was the seed of human ambition. The story of fire is filled with wonder, but also with struggle. Imagine the effort it took for early humans to create fire on their own. Rubbing sticks together until smoke rose. Striking stones to release a spark. Hours of frustration, failure, and determination. The first human who finally blew gently on a spark and saw it burst into flame must have felt like a god. That was the moment humanity truly began to rise. The discovery of fire was not just about survival, it was about transformation. Once humanity learned to tame the flame, they realized it could do more than warm and protect. Fire became a tool of creation and destruction, of progress and power. It became the very heartbeat of civilization. With fire, humans learned to shape the world around them. They discovered that stones, when heated, could transform into metal. This single realization sparked the birth of the Bronze Age. Suddenly, tools became sharper, weapons became stronger, and farming became easier. Fire turned rock into swords and plows. Villages grew, trade expanded, and humans began to build empires. Without fire, there would be no metal, no cities, no foundations of industry. But fire was not only the creator, it was the destroyer. Armies marched with torches in hand, burning enemy lands to ashes. Fire became a weapon of war, feared and respected. It was the power to erase entire cities in a single night. From ancient battles to medieval sieges, fire was the silent soldier that left nothing but smoke and ruin in its path. Humanity learned quickly, the same flames that cooked their food could also end their world. And yet, fire remained at the center of progress. In every blacksmith's forge, sparks flew as weapons and tools were born. In every hearth, families found warmth and life. Fire was the pulse of human existence. It was in the candles that lit temples, in the oil lamps that guided travelers, in the sacred flames that never died out in shrines across the world. Fire was woven into every ritual, every tradition, every prayer. As centuries passed, fire gave birth to invention after invention. It powered kilns that baked bricks and pottery, shaping homes and art. It smelted iron that built bridges and ships. It burned in furnaces that turned sand into glass, opening a new world of vision and discovery. And with glass, came telescopes and microscopes, unlocking the secrets of the stars above and the life hidden below. Fire had become more than survival, it had become knowledge. But the greatest leap came with the Industrial Revolution. Steam engines roared to life, powered by fire's heat. Trains thundered across continents, ships crossed oceans, and factories lit up the night sky with smoke and flames. Humanity entered an age of machines, all fueled by the same force first discovered by a frightened ancestor staring at lightning in the forest. Fire had now become industry, and industry became civilization's backbone. Yet, with progress came danger. Cities grew crowded, and fire turned into a nightmare. Great infernos swept through towns, London, Chicago, Rome, all brought to their knees by flames that refused to be controlled. Entire communities were reduced to ashes in hours. Humanity realized that fire was not just a tool but a responsibility. To master fire, one had to respect its hunger. Still, humans pressed forward. They created engines, airplanes, rockets, all born from the heat of fire. And then came electricity, another kind of flame, invisible yet just as powerful. Fire no longer danced only in hearths, it surged through wires, glowing in bulbs, powering a new age. But even electricity, at its heart, is a cousin of fire, carrying the same promise and peril. Think about it, without fire, there would be no light in our cities, no warmth in our homes, no cars, no planes, no technology. Every invention we touch is linked back to that first spark. Fire is the ancestor of progress.